Yeah, as you say, so many eyeballs in the world are going to be on this show, October 28th, and it's a heavyweight bonanza. I mean, some of the fights on there, Frank, come on.
I just hope the ring holds up. I mean, these are big guys. They're big guys, and there's some really good competitive fights on there. And, it's backed up by this massive event, opening up the Riyadh season. It doesn't get any better than this.
For this fight in particular, Fabio Wardley, David Adeleye, where does the winner go? Where does the loser go?
Depends how they lose, and it depends how they win. I think the winner goes on, and I think he'll become one of the big names in world boxing. There's no doubt about it. And for the loser, it's not the end of the world. As I said, it depends how you lose and what you're all about coming back. Seen guys lose and come back and become champions. Very few fighters remain undefeated in their careers. And when two undefeated guys are fighting, obviously someone's going to lose that oath.
And with David Adeleye, he's a guy that you've had since the start. You promoted him from the very start. What have you seen in his career so far, which has given you confidence that he is ready for this stage, at this point, 12-0 now, to go and fight the unbeaten British champion?
I think he needs a challenge. I think he's done well up to now what he's done. He's done everything that's been asked of him. But I feel he needs to challenge himself. And I think he's got the challenge in him. And he's in with a guy who's been in the trenches when he's been hurt. He's come back and won fights, with desire and willpower. So this time round, we will see. This is a good fight. This is going to tell you what David Adelaye's about, and it's also going to tell you what Fabio's about.
Have you been impressed with Fabio Wardley? As you mentioned,
I've only met him. It's the first time I met him, and I spoke to him the other day on the phone. They put him on the phone with me. He's a very nice guy. Most boxers are nice guys, and he's a nice guy.
But in terms of he's gone for a few fights where he's had to overcome a little bit. I'm not sure we've seen that. I don't think we've seen David Adeleye hurt yet.
Well, he's not been in there. But that happens. That will happen. It will happen to him as it happens to all fighters. There's always someone there who's going to catch you with a shot, and it's how you respond to it. I think he will. If he does get caught, I think he will respond to it. But the only way we're going to find out is when it happens.
So the main event on that evening is Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou. We are edging closer to it now. Give me your kind of feelings around it. Obviously, this Fury versus Usyk's meant to happen as well. Like, how are you feeling about all of this? It's a big fight, moment.
It's a big fight. It's a big event, like I've said from day one. I mean, I keep getting friends of mine in like New York. I had some people in Tokyo, and myself. I see it in Piccadilly. All the billboards. All these, it's everywhere to fight.
The
Vegas, it's on the statues.
Yeah.
I mean, I have never seen anything like this in my time in boxing. The promotion that's gone into it has been amazing. I mean, the promos, a couple of them are award-winning things.
Absolutely.
And I think the one where the two guys, all the rooms were cracking and there's everything rocking.
Amazing.
In 2 days, 152 million people watched that. 2 days, it had 152 million hits. That's the size of this event. It is a mega event, and it's transcended boxing. It's not just a boxing event. This has transcended it, and all eyes will be on it. On the 28th, it's going to be one of those things you know where you were on that date, because there's interest. Everywhere I go, people are talking to me about it, asking me about it. And I do think it's going to be a good fight. I think whilst it lasts, I think it's going to be lively. I think they're going to be throwing bombs and somebody's going to get stopped, and I hope it's going to be our man who does the business.
Do you feel as though Tyson can't afford to mess about?
Tyson Fury is a consummate professional, and as I mentioned before when we've talked about this, in his last few fights, he stood and traded. The biggest punch in heavyweight, statistically in heavyweight boxing, in the last 50-odd years, is Deontay Wilder. He stood and traded with him. He didn't get on his bike and jab away and move. He stood and traded with him.
Must make you nervous though if he's going to stand.
Of course, it makes me nervous. I mean, he's got on the floor. He's been on the floor a couple of times, and you see him go down. You think, oh God, I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see. Look, you get hurt. We're in the hurt business, but I don't want to see my, Tyson. Who I think a lot of. I don't want to see him getting hurt. I want to see him come through the fight safely. But he does do that because he's a fighting man. And this other guy, he ain't going to box because he's not a boxer. He comes from a sport that, as soon as their bell goes, they're kicking, they're rolling about, they're headbutting, they're doing everything, all these things. and he can whack, and he's taken people out with punches. He's not in the Guinness Book of Records for nothing. He's in the Guinness Book of Records because he's the hardest punching fighter out there, you know, across all the sports. That's what he is. So how does he win the fight? He's got to knock Tyson out. And how do you knock him out? You've got to stand and trade with him if you can't box. And you've got to try and rough him up. So it's going to be exciting. Do not worry about that. It will be exciting while it lasts.
It's definitely going to be exciting, Frank. Thank you so much.